Hi, it's Juris and welcome to the Two Shop Talk. And today I have a bunch of stuff again from InkClaw. A bunch of fun, a bunch of exciting stuff. So the first one I want to point out, I have this beast with LED lights. Boom. It's shiny. New form factor of battery. Then we have here, oh, and this one have this chunky grip as well. So if you want to beef things up, there we go. Then we have, this is exactly what it looks like. A rotary tattoo machine, and it has adjustable stroke from, it looks like from 1 to 5, and it's easy to click. And then there is this tiny pen. And today we will look at this one because this is the one that is the most fun one, and this is the one that I have worked most with. I have my opinion by now, and I'll do my usual ups, downs, and who this machine might be for. And this is with the older battery. Let's remove the battery, and this is the size of it. This is my hand. I wear L to XL gloves, kind of a bit taller than my tallest finger, thickness wise, the same as my fingers. I know I have funky fingers, so these sausages maybe is not a great comparison. This tattoo machine is smaller than my colleague's vape. I looked at that and I was like, wow, this is smaller. This would be compared to a battery or a regular pen. Price-wise, it comes in just under 1100 Danish krona, which is just under 150 US and just under 150 euros. So very reasonable price. And this machine comes in this shiny box. There's this modern day tribal on one side, InkClaw.com on other side, and that's where you can check this tattoo machine. Link is also in the video description. And then there's a bunch of info. So product InkClaw Tiny Pen. RPM is up to 10,000 at 12 volts. Recommended volts 5 to 8, stroke 2.9, material aluminium. Boom. Can be plugged in with the RCA cable, or it can be worked with batteries as well. At this size you start to feel battery even if it's the lightest one, just because the pen is so tiny. But if you use this type of sort of L-shaped battery, I found it more comfortable if battery is sort of tilted back, so the weight kind of feels better, because if it's this way it sort of feels like it wants to spin the machine. This is all there, feels comfortable. And if you have a critical batteries, then we'll take the smallest one, plug it in, boom, and you have this microphone looking thing, which is a bit better balanced, more center balanced. With this type of battery it would depend which way you put it. This is 7.2, these have kickstart. And which is interesting, this doesn't have kickstart. I mean, it's optional, and it still sounds like it would have a kickstart. It have this little hit in the beginning. Let's see, 7.2. So same voltage. So that's the sound it makes. Now about the pen itself, I communicated with the company and I asked what's the purpose, why they made it. And again, they did it because they wanted to do it. They were curious how things gonna go, how small things they can pack. I've tried it with the small needles. They sent me also these 0.3 liners, which are scary to work with. But since there are some wild styles going around now, and I had a requirement for one of those super skinny lines, barely there, looking avant-garde type of a thing, that's where I decided that it's a good way to try this machine and go with these skinny needles. And it went fine. I did my touch on that style because I don't really understand what's going on in that crazy modern unsymmetrical, kind of symmetrical, lines barely there thing. But I tried it and it went fine, and that gave me a lot more confidence to use those super skinny needles with this type of a tattoo machine. On their promo videos, what they share on their Instagram, you see people using it. It's up to even the crazy like 45 or 49 magnums. So if you follow them on social media, you can see that a lot of different artists use on a lot of different like variations of needles and in a lot of different styles. I also asked them, can it be used for the permanent makeup? And they said technically it can be used for that as well, because that's where you see more of those skinny tip pen type machines, or skinny grips, I would say. I like its form. For me, it's too skinny, so I would wrap some paper towel around when I pack it, and if I put like 2 layers of paper towel, then it's hard to adjust needle length. It's doable, you just have to press like really tight. So for me, thickness of it is maybe it's too thin, so That's where it could be cool if the company would have some grip options and would have a one which is maybe a size bigger. With one layer of paper towel, it's manageable for me, and you can still adjust everything. With two, it's a bit more comfortable to hold. It's harder to adjust needle depth, length, how much is out. As for packaging, obviously it fits in any sleeve. It more depends on what fits over your battery. So obviously battery, if you use these, put over some sticky tape, or if it's more these rounded ones. If you have clipcord sleeve, which is around 6 centimeters, then it would fit over battery as well. Otherwise, wrap battery separately. I even tried to wrap it in a glove, in a finger. So if you want tighter fit, there you go. And it also fits over these, I don't even know what they called, but these little tiny rubber band thingies that you can buy at some suppliers. And then it would fit over here, and I would say this is the best option, that you wrap it like that and then you do the rest separately, and then you have easier option to adjust needle length, so these parts are separate. I hope I'm making sense here. So this is bam, 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 and then it's cable or battery, and off you go. I like the shape, I like the size. That's with the battery. With this battery it actually kind of even nicely rests on the wrist, so it's a perfect combination for me. Another thing, since it's a very small tattoo machine and there's a lot of things packed in it, and a lot of, I would guess, things packed densely. There are videos of them working with those crazy big needles, but when you work a bit too hard with it, it gets warm. So I think if you will push it to its limit, it might get damaged or it might get too hot. It's probably not good, or at least it's a bit worrying if your machine gets warm. So if you are not on the far end on like big needles on some crazy heavy high voltage sessions, then you would be fine. As a skinniness, an option would be for the company if they would have a grip options, maybe one a bit thicker just for them who wants that extra chunk, and maybe a bit heavier for the balance. And the small stuff, the balance is already like not an issue. I got excited for a second, but that didn't work. As I was sitting here and messing around with stuff, I decided to try, maybe this one will fit some of the disposable grips, and I took this disposable grip from Bishop, I put it in, I started to spin, and it felt like it works, and I was like, oh my god. So this would be awesome. But the threading, the length, the combination of all this stuff is not that great, because you would have needle out like a crazy person. And even at the shortest end, needle is already out of the cartridge, and then we would have this, which is maybe a bit too much. Or company would come up with disposable grips of their own. And that's where I've been thinking, can you not make something that is like a threadless with some softer material that could just slide over, or something where you sort of cut your own thread in? That would be more versatile, so it would fit, let's say, these type machines, other brands, maybe big brands like Bishop's, Cheyenne's, and then you could have this universal disposable grip. Or maybe for skinny machines, something that you put around and then it would fit. This combination got me excited. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. Boom, 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 boom. Look at it. So that was only two downsides. Mostly upsides is the obvious, it's the size, so who this machine might be for. And I think it's a good product for them who always complain that all the pen style tattoo machines are too chunky, too big for their hands, too uncomfortable for their grip. So that's the obvious. I know nothing about permanent makeup. It just looks like it could fit in that environment with the skinny looks, be it with the cable or a battery. And maybe for them tattooists who did use those super skinny grips on coil machines from the times where it looked like tattoo machine is attached to a pen. This is 19 millimeters. I think those skinny tips were around that. They don't want to work with tattoo machines that are this thick. So this is another option. So the obvious is its size. Obviously it's super compact, it's well built, it's all this aluminum stuff. Connection is protected in the body, so it feels like it would be safe for travels. You can easily throw it in the bag. It doesn't take space. It looks like something that you could put in a pocket. And that's the size with the battery. This is my opinion on this tattoo machine. Not really a review. It is as it is. These days there are a lot of companies making good stuff. I'm really happy to deal with InkClaw because they are more adventurous. They push things to some limits. You see, there's a crazy see-through thing with LEDs, super tiny machine. They have all the crazy needles, like all this stuff. They have the big magnums. So very boundary pushing company. This was my opinion on this tattoo machine. Now share yours, leave that in the comment section. And now do the usual, press all the like buttons. If you're super awesome, share the video and check other videos in this playlist. See you in the future episodes. Thank you for watching. Check out InkClaw and follow their social media to see what people do with crazy needles and crazy tattoo machines. I wouldn't say crazy, interesting ones.